And now we interrupt your regular viewing program to bring you these news items.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shifty Crab News Break, where we run you through all the spicy video game news we can get our claws on. That's right, I'm still in Terry's thing. I am your host, Vince, and I'm joined today by the PS5 hunter himself, Adam Very. What's up, Adam?
The failed hunter, still not happening.
Failed hunter.
And you know what? Just before we quickly move on, I thought with Terry not being on the news, I wouldn't hear any crab puns. I am morally and physically hurt right now.
You were sorely mistaken, my friend.
Yeah.
That's the new intro. You're going to have to deal with it.
Great.
Anyway, moving right along, I am also joined by the Switch Pro himself, the mayor of Vita Island, Blake Miller. What's up, Blake?
Nothing much. How are you?
I'm doing well. We've got some great news stories for you today. We are going to talk about Microsoft's complete 180 on their price changes, Vicarious Visions merging right into Blizzard, and we might be getting a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game, guys. How excited are we? But first, let's talk about Microsoft's huge kerfuffle on Friday. This comes from IGN via Adam Bankhurst. Microsoft not changing Xbox Live Gold pricing, free-to-play games unlocked. Microsoft has announced that it is reversing its decision and will not change Xbox Live Gold pricing. Furthermore, free-to-play games will no longer require an Xbox Live Gold membership to play on Xbox consoles. So if you missed it on Friday, Microsoft basically doubled the price of all Gold memberships. Adam, you look like you have a bunch of thoughts on this.
I do. Where to even begin? First of all, you've got to imagine there was a meeting at some point about this. This wasn't some guy called Steve going, I'm just going to double the price. No one will care. There must have been a meeting about this. And at what point during the middle of a pandemic, when so many people have lost their jobs and so many people are using games as a release, as a way of just escaping this hell that we live in, did they think, let's double the price? That sounds like a perfect thing to do right now. And everyone's going to love this. I've got a lot to say, but I'm going to pace myself. That is my initial thoughts on this. How did this even happen?
It had to have been discussed at some point. I mean, a price increase, obviously, but double is way too much of an ask right now. Way too much. Blake, your initial thoughts on these?
It's messed up. I mean, I'm an Xbox user. I have a Game Pass myself. And it's obvious what they're doing. They're just trying to get people to buy into Game Pass. It's really all it is. I mean, it's messed up to just completely almost double the price of it just for gold, Yeah. It's with how much goodwill they've gotten over the past few months, completely it's destroyed just from that one action,
Definitely.
Don't try to shoehorn in Game Pass when, let's say, somebody can only afford gold, and then you just decide to double it. So then they're like, fuck me, I guess,
That's it's definitely it.
It is one way to put it, for sure. They also released a statement. This still comes from Adam Banker's article on IGN. Microsoft's full statement is as follows below. Quote, we messed up today and you were right to let us know. Connecting and playing with friends is a vital part of gaming and we failed to meet the expectations of players who count on it every day. As a result, we have decided not to change Xbox Live Gold pricing. We're turning this moment into an opportunity to bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of their experience. Free-to-play games will truly be free, and you will no longer need an Xbox Live Gold membership to play those games on Xbox. We are working hard to deliver this change as soon as possible in the coming months. End quote. So, free to play games going completely free now. This is probably the best news to come out of it, seeing as now you can probably play Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone, Apex Legends without an Xbox Live Gold subscription. Adam?
Yeah, no, that bit is good. I'm not gonna say anything other than that that bit is definitely good. But the thing that frustrates me with this is, and this is from maybe a purely business point of view, when you look at Microsoft and Sony, even though it's not a console war, I don't like that term. It's two competing companies that released a major console last year and are trying to sell as many as possible. And Sony have kind of dropped the ball with their pre-orders and then the stock that they have and struggling to get the stock out. And there was problems with the tech, with the controllers apparently at launch. There's a lot of people having issues with them, with the triggers becoming really loose. This was a really good chance for Microsoft to push, I'd say catch up, because I think the last generation was dominated by Sony. And it was a good chance for them to catch up. Games Pass is probably the best thing in gaming and the best value for money. So I understand that they have to find that money somewhere else because they're losing a lot of money on game sales and stuff like that. So yeah, putting the price up a little bit here and there over a few different subscriptions makes sense. But they have just dropped the ball because there are people right now still making a decision on what console they are going to get. They might not have had the financial ability at launch, or they might have waited to see what games were coming out and was still on the fence. And now they've seen what Microsoft has done. And even though Microsoft have reversed that, they only reversed that because of the backlash. So they still thought it was a good idea. And I would be surprised if there isn't a lot of gamers who are still deciding have gone over to Sony or will go over to Sony when there's stock available. And I think saying that these free-to-play games is going to be overshadowed, and it is a side note on the bigger story here, saying basically Microsoft dropped the ball in a big way when they had a perfect chance to really just keep steamrolling forward with momentum that they've managed to build up over the last, I can't remember how many years Game Pass has been around, but the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
And now they've just kind of just hit a wall and they're going to have to build that momentum again. So I think it's just a stupid move by them, personally.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the console, quote unquote, wars going on right now. They really needed a leg up and they completely dropped the ball on that.
Yep.
Blake, do you think that more people with the free to play option will drop Xbox Live Gold completely?
Probably. I mean, because you got to think most like hardcore gamers that are playing a lot of games on Xbox probably do have Game Pass already. So I would imagine most people with just gold are probably only using that just for free to play games. So I would say, yeah, most of them will probably quit using gold and just go completely free on the service.
Makes sense if that's all you're going to use it for.
Oh, yeah. I myself have switched from Xbox Live Gold to Game Pass Ultimate last year, and let me tell you, that was probably the best decision I've made for a while.
There was a deal, wasn't there? A really good deal. Was it last year? I can't remember off the top of my head, where it was something you could pay $1 or something, and was it? Yeah, I can't. Was that for Ultimate, or was that just for, what was that for?
That was for Game Pass itself, because I did that deal because I just bought the 12 months of Xbox Live Gold, and then I got the Game Pass Ultimate for $1 upgrade, and so that also rolled in my gold membership, so I don't have to pay for Xbox Live until June.
And, okay. Even right now, like they have that deal going on randomly throughout the year. Like I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was on the store and I clicked on something and I said, "Hey, you can join Game Pass for $1." I already had the membership though, but it still popped up. So I would say they probably do it just randomly, just to get people in.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I think because once people are in, they stay in with Game Pass because it is undeniably great value for money. And out of the two main, obviously services, obviously Games Pass against PlayStation Now, slash PlayStation Plus, I guess, it is the much better version. The way Game Pass does it is much better. I know PlayStation are working hard to try and get some more of their AAA games on there and stuff like that. But I'd say out of the two, obviously, Games Pass has been revolutionary in the gaming industry, and this is just puts a sour taste just there when people are making decisions. I just think it's bad timing for one, with it being a pandemic and a new console first year of a new console, and then obviously doubling the price pretty much is just ridiculous.
So going off of that, if they do ever do a price increase again, what do you think would be a tolerable amount they could get out of people?
So I'd say, I don't know, $5, $10, something like that. Maybe, yeah, something like that. You put it up by a chunk, but that's a lot of money over everybody, you know?
Oh yes.
Like, and then you could have it like Netflix put their prices up every year, you know, and everyone moans a little bit, but very few people cancel.
Oh yeah. Even then, Netflix is only like maybe $1 or so increase.
Yeah. So but you just keep doing that. You put it up by maybe $2 like each year, and then you get to a cap point where you keep it the same for maybe 2 years, and then you start doing it again. And because as inflation goes up, people don't really notice it as much. And some people will drop off, but your majority won't. But doubling the price, I bet you lost a lot of people on Friday when that was announced.
Oh yeah. Blake, what do you think would be the more tolerable option if they were to go for a price increase?
Exactly what Adam said. Just increase it gradually, but not straight up just double it all of a sudden. Like that's insane to do to like all of your customers. A gradual increase, like every year I see Netflix increase theirs by like $1, $2, whatever. I'm like, I grown about it, but like whatever, I'm still paying for it.
Yeah,
very true. Very true.
And it's a lot to manage as well. Like you double someone's subscription, they have to find that money from somewhere. You know, like it's if you put it up by $1, $2, even to a lot of people, that's a lot of money, but it's a lot more manageable to say, do you know what? I can make that work. Doubling the price is a bit like, oh, well, okay. Well, I just don't think I can afford this anymore. Yeah. So goodbye. Sure.
Do we think they're going to lose any subscribers over this from either Gold or Game Pass?
Yeah, I think they'll have lost some already. I saw some people on Twitter saying, and I know that's obviously the place you go for all truthful information, that they were already cancelled their subscription, or they won't be renewing their subscription, etc. And some people said, you know what, I was going to, but they changed their minds, so I'll stay with them. And there's no, you can do whatever you want, you know, like so. But to me, it was just a bad business move more than anything.
It was. And honestly, it's not one they really needed right now, being this far behind Sony.
No,
not at all. So from one bad deal right on to the next, Vicarious Visions has merged into Blizzard. This is from Brandon Sinclair over at gamesindustry.biz. Brendan writes, Activision Blizzard has moved its Vicarious Visions studio from the Activision side to the business to the Blizzard side. The publisher today told gamesindustry.biz that effective today, it is merging Vicarious Visions into Blizzard Entertainment. Going forward, the Vicarious Visions team of about 200 people will be employees of Blizzard and fully dedicated to existing Blizzard games and initiatives, which means the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 studio will no longer be creating games as the lead developer. Now, Adam, we were talking weeks ago about our favorite games of 2020, and you brought up Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. How disappointed are you that we may not see a follow-up now?
Man, this sucks. this sucks, like, because you know they're just going to get eaten in and then pushed onto something that they don't want to do. Like, the remakes of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 were incredible. Now, they weren't Game of the Year, which I would say was The Last of Us Part 2 for me personally, but for me, it was up there. I had such fun playing those games. I was like, I could not wait for them to do maybe their own Tony Hawk's game, or even maybe remake one of the lesser games, but I'm sure it would still be really fun. They nailed it, and I had so much hope of what they were going to do. So when this news dropped, it was a gut punch, because I'm not a huge fan of Blizzard anyway. Like, so for me, I don't really care for them. And this just sucks, because this is this is basically the end of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and any hope of anything coming on from that there was. And I there was rumblings that they were going to make a new game, and I was really excited for that, and it's just not going to happen now, is it? So
Fortunately not.
and I don't even know what they would do there. What are they going to work on?
Blizzard have already pulled so many people into their studio to work on so many different projects. I know last year, or maybe 2 years ago, they brought in Rod Ferguson from the Coalition to work on Diablo 4. And that was a big deal, because he was pretty much head of the studio there. He worked on Gears 4, Gears 5, and they brought him over to work on the Diablo 4. I think he's lead designer on that one.
I believe so.
They've been kind of poaching people left and right to work on different projects, different games they're working on. So with that in mind, Blake, how bad do you think it is over at Blizzard right now with their game development strategy?
How bad are they with their game development strategy?
Mm.
I mean, I don't play their games, nor have I really played just Vicarious Visions games, nor am I like really up to date on anything to do with them. So the only thing that I've heard is that they're using that team to work on Diablo 2, like a remake for that. But beyond that, I don't really have too much an opinion on it, just being honest, because I've not really, like, those games don't mean anything to me, nor does Blizzard. So
if I could just jump in, my friend described it perfectly. Take a little sweep away from games for a second. Blizzard are the Dormammu of companies, where there's the eater of worlds, the destroyer of worlds. They just see a company, swallow it, and you never hear from it again. Like, and they just work on stuff that either doesn't get released, doesn't work properly, they never get to. It all looks the same, and no one ever gets to put their spin on things, really. And it's just a waste of a really good studio that had a really good idea of how to make those, like, Tony Hawk style of games. Pick up, play. Oh, I'm sour on this one. I admit I'm sour. Like,
it does give me hope, if they are working on the Diablo 2 remake, that will be up to par with what Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remakes was.
It's a different animal, though. It's a totally different beast.
Yeah.
You're basically going from a sports-like game to a dungeon crawler, which are two very separate worlds.
Oh, yeah.
Which just makes...
Are you kidding? They sound exactly the same to me.
Yeah, that's it.
If only. Speaking of different worlds, a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game is in development, but not with EA or Bioware. This, once again, from Adam Bankhurst over at IGN.
He's killing it today.
He is. He's on top of it. This man knows his news. Anyway, into the article. A new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game is reportedly in the works, and it is not being developed by EA or BioWare, the studio behind the original games. As reported by VGC, the latest rumor comes courtesy of credited Star Wars insider Bespin Bullet, who spoke on a recent Bob the Podcast episode about this project that is said to be in development outside of EA, and that, quote, "We'll never guess who the studio is that's making this game," end quote. Furthermore, amongst my digging, this is another quote, "Amongst my digging, I heard there is a Knights of the Old Republic project in development somewhere," Bespin Bullet said. A little bit of a tongue twister there. Said, quote, "I talked to a couple of people and I also found out that Jason Schreier said that it is not with EA and will never guess who the studio is that's making this game," end quote. Bloomberg's Jason Schreier has previously spoken of a potential Knights of the Old Republic project, both on Reset Era and Twitter, and his words echo Bespin Bullet's comments. Furthermore, Wushu Studios' Nate Nadja also took to Reset Era in response to this to say, "It's not as mysterious as you think. It's just not a household name most people are aware of," end quote. So, a lot to unpack here. We got a new Star Wars game, a new Knights of the Old Republic game, and it's being developed by someone who's, quote, "not a household name most people are aware of." So what could this be?
Oh, it said, do you know what? If it's, I did my own digging and like scrolled through hundreds of comments on different articles to see what studios people were thinking. And the same one kept appearing a lot, but I'm not sure. I think if it's because obviously we don't know if it's a Knights of the Old Republic game necessarily. Like it could be something else. But if it is a Knights of the Old Republic game, I believe they were originally Microsoft exclusives. Were they not? They were Xbox and PC.
Yeah, they were Xbox and PC, because I remember owning the original games on the original Xbox.
Yeah, so you'd think that if they're doing a Knights of the Old Republic, it would also be exclusive. That you'd think, unless they're gonna re-release over on PlayStation and then bring out another Knights of the Old Republic game. So if it is going to be an Xbox exclusive or Microsoft exclusive, maybe I know Obsidian have a lot of things in the works, and we don't know necessarily what all of their things are. And obviously, they could do something like that, but it depends how busy they are on the projects that they've got going on. But I thought that was quite a good shout by people. I know they are quite well known, but they're maybe not well known to maybe casual gamers, which is why
before Outer Worlds, they did the South Park games, correct?
Yes, I believe.
And then also Fallout New Vegas. So it's not really a stretch for them to not be a super huge household name. They do put out quality games.
Yeah, maybe they have released pretty big games. I don't know. When household names, I think of EA, Rockstar, Ubisoft, as being like the high tier, 2K, I guess, as well. Household names. And then I think you've got your Santa Monica's and your Naughty Dogs. And then I think just below them is companies like Obsidian and even, I would say, even BioWare are in that same sort of level. But I don't know. I don't know who else it could be that could make a game that big, because you've got to have a decent number of employees. So
you've got to have a pretty decent sized studio if you want to work on a modern Knights of the Old Republic remake. Because in the older games, you were bouncing around between worlds. You had that light dark balance. It was rather big for an RPG at the time. So if you want to expand beyond that, you're probably going to need a AAA budget behind it.
Oh yeah, and I think if this, and this is obviously hypothetical still, but I'm still believing that this will be a Microsoft exclusive, then they're going to throw everything they can at it. And you'd think it's going to have a lot of money behind it, because Knights of the Old Republic is like the holy grail of Microsoft exclusives, really, going like back from the original Xbox. Like it was the big, like it's like the holy grail of games, really. Everyone talks about it in whispers of how good this game was, and and See, there will be a lot of eyes on this product. And
Do they whisper though? Do they whisper?
no, they shout very loud.
They do.
It's a
I feel
great
like it's more of a
game.
shout on that end.
So yeah, I would. It's got to be a half decent sized studio to be able to do this. So I don't know. My gut says Obsidian might be okay, but they do have a lot on their plate. I know they have, is it 6 things in the works at various stages? This could be one of them. I don't think we know all 6. I think I read that somewhere recently.
Blake,
But-
what's your guess on who could be working on Knights of the Old Republic?
They say not a household name, but my mind instantly goes to wanting Square Enix to be working on this game. That's just me personally.
That's more of a hope than a thought.
But I know probably, well, for sure it's not going to be Square Enix, but I'd say Obsidian is a good guess, especially with them just working on the Outer Worlds.
Yeah, they do have credibility when it comes to RPGs. So, but yeah, Square Enix would make a really good Knights of the Old Republic game if they had the chance. But I'm trying to have a look and see what Obsidian are actually.
I know we know about Avowed, which
Yeah, Avowed.
looks really good.
Yeah, what have they got
Unfortunately, my
coming out?
digging hasn't brought up
What's next for
any
Obsidian? as well?
rumored.
But yeah, you can do your. What are your thoughts on this, Vince? While I
Oh, I like Obsidian. That's a really good pick. They make huge games. I would almost want to see. What's another big RPG studio? Bethesda would be an interesting pick, but I don't see them working that much on Star Wars or big like IP outside of the ones they already own. And plus, Bethesda has been known for their buggy, broken games. So I don't think you'd want to release a Knights of the Old Republic game of that quality.
I do have some breaking news for you.
Oh,
No,
no.
I've been a little bit of an idiot, so I'd like to apologize in advance for not remembering that Knights of the Old Republic 2, even though it was a sequel to BioWare's, obviously, Knights of the Old Republic, it was actually produced by LucasArts and Obsidian.
Oh, okay.
So Obsidian did work on Knights of the Old Republic 2.
So there's some history there.
I believe so. Well, it's under their released games. Published yet. It used the Odyssey engine. Yeah, I believe so.
Well,
yeah, this is Obsidian. Yeah, it's on there. It's on the picture. So yeah, so they obviously do have history with the role, which now makes me think it's not them because they said it would be a surprise. So maybe it's not Obsidian. That's maybe too obvious, and I've just been like had a brain fart and not remembered that Obsidian worked on number 2.
that might be the case. I would hope it would be Obsidian. I'd be fine with Bethesda working on one, but they've already got Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, potentially another Fallout game, you would think.
And they're definitely household as well. Bethesda.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
say.
Square Enix would be a very good pick as well if they worked.
Who else
Well,
have Microsoft got in the acquisition? Who else have they got that they could use?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because
I know they picked up.
If we're going with if we're going with that, when we might be wrong that it's not going to be like exclusive, but then I just can't imagine that they'd make the third one like open and then have the rest of them exclusive, unless they're going to release the others, like which I don't think Microsoft are ever going to let them do that. So
I don't see that happening.
it's a mystery.
I think that's something they'd want to keep on their plate for a while. Let me see. I'm just taking a quick look, So see what studios Microsoft has acquired.
Yeah, and while you're doing
games
that, I would say that, hey, I know we're getting a lot of like Star Wars games and stuff like that, but now that they're not with EA and everyone can put their own style on them, this is a really exciting time if you really like Star Wars and if you really like the games as well, with Disney churning out. I can't remember how many new Star Wars series that they announced this year. If you're a Star Wars fan, this must be like a second Christmas.
So what if Starfield is this next KOTOR?
Oh, they just put it under a working title.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be probably a smart move.
that'd be
But you
very
have to-
ballsy.
Oh, yes. You'd have to think that they'd probably have been working on Starfield for at least a couple years. And it wasn't until recently that the Disney license, EA license, has expired.
Hmm.
So it could be that. I mean, they could completely retool it to
It's
be
doubtful,
the
but
Republic.
So I can't imagine 343 Industries would be able to do it because they're probably quite busy right now
They have their hands full of.
fixing their problems. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Then who else have you got?
Another interesting thing came by my mind while scrolling. Another company that could potentially do a very good Star Wars RPG. And that would be Bungie.
Oh.
Could you imagine a Bungie made Knights of the Old Republic game? Yes, they do great with first person shooters, but Destiny also took off as a semi RPG, so they could probably expand that a bit more, and they're independent now. Plus, they've been working very closely with Game Pass, bringing pretty much all of Destiny to Game Pass.
Yeah.
I would lose it. It'd be amazing.
That would be good. What about? I know they're working at the moment, but surely that should nearly be finished. So they must be already on to their next project. Playground games. Obviously, they're doing Fable.
Ooh.
They know how to do an RPG. But then I suppose they'll probably go back onto doing Forza Horizon, I guess.
Possibly. But you'd also think Fable's probably another couple years away from release.
Maybe next year. I don't know how far out it is. I'm not sure. Who made We Happy For You? Was that Compulsion Games?
Ooh.
I don't think maybe their style's a little bit too out there for it. It's a guessing game. It could be anyone.
It could be anyone.
I'd tell you who has a really nice art style that I like, but I don't know if they'd work for the game. Would be Tango Gameworks, the ones who did The Evil Within and The Evil Within 2.
Oh, that would be interesting.
They've got a really good style. And what's the game they're doing for PS5 as a timed exclusive? Ghostwire.
Yes,
Looks
Ghostwire Tokyo.
Looks really good.
I hope that game's good.
What about
Are we just going down the whole list of all the Xbox acquired studios going, these ones will look nice. These ones will look good.
Good idea.
Welcome to the game news, guys, where we speculate for 2 hours on who could be making Knights of the Old Republic 3.
3?
Who are you thinking, Blake?
Ghost Story Games?
Yeah, what did they make?
It's the Rational Games is what they turned into.
Remind me of what they've made.
Rational Games did the Bioshock games.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
They'd be a good shout. They would be a good shout.
They would be.
Do we know?
Mhm.
No, I don't think it's them, but maybe because it's staff from Bioware. Do we know what the Initiatives game is yet?
Oh, that's a very good question. So I don't think we've seen anything from that in a while.
It's being built from scratch by Xbox Game Studios, headed up by former Crystal Dynamics studio head Daryl Gallagher, and packed with staff from Bioware, Naughty Dog, Respawn Entertainment, and others. We don't know
Oh,
what these shows. It's
they're
one of their
working on
best kept secrets.
reboot of Perfect Dark.
Oh, they are.
Yes.
It was announced.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay, well, you ruined that one for me. Okay, this is what we need to do. Okay, on this news right now, remember the date is Sunday the 24th. We're all going to pick one studio that we think is going to make it, and we all have to pick differently. So, Vince, as you're the host, you get to pick first. You have
I
to
will
pick
first.
a studio that you think is going to make this game.
You know what? I'm doubling down. I'm going Bungie Studios.
It's such a good guess. I was hoping you'd forgotten.
No, I'm not letting that one go.
Okay.
Adam, what is your pick?
I'm just having a quick look. I want to get this right. They're gonna be too busy with that. What did they do? Do you have yours, Blake? Because I'm still.
1 second. I'm just double checking something.
I'm gonna go with. Now, you can't imagine. No, it's not going to be them. ID aren't going to do anything like that. They're probably working on more Doom stuff.
And they are great at Doom stuff. Let's be honest. Doom Eternal.
Arcane Studios, they're going to be finished with Deathloop. Are they going to be ready to move on to something like this? It's probably not their style. Okay, I'm going to go with, purely because I think it would look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Tango Gameworks, who are doing Ghostwire Tokyo. Because I think this game is obviously going to be a long way off this Knights of the Old Republic game. Well, maybe 5 years, something like that, before we actually get to play it.
Yeah, I would see maybe a trailer end of 2022 with a release date of 2023, then getting pushed back
And
because the trailer didn't meet expectations.
Probably. And while Blake is finding his, I think he would kill us if we didn't mention it. That obviously Terry, one of our co-hosts as well, doesn't think that this is a Knights of the Old Republic game. I believe he thinks it's going to be a High Republic game. So that is his thought process. I'm sure when he's on the news Wednesday, when he's on the news Wednesday, he will bring this up.
Of course. See, now I was thinking we rebrand it. Instead of Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the High Republic.
Yeah,
Keeping
probably.
in that theme.
Probably something along those lines. Do you know what? Blake is taking his time. I think he's talking to his inside contacts.
No.
Are you talking to Phil Spencer?
Ghost Story. You know what? Ghost Story Games.
Ghost Story Games.
Because here it says they're working on an immersive sci-fi game with RPG elements.
Ooh.
Does sound like the Knights of the Old Republic.
This article is from videogamechronicle.com.
Does the article start with "long time ago in a galaxy far, far away"? Because that'd be a big clue if it did start with that.
That would be a giant clue.
However, it says that the team is less than 35 people.
It's a lot of work for them.
Yeah,
that would be.
That's going to be my guess, though.
Another one. What if? No, it couldn't be. It's not just going to be Xbox Game Studio, is it? The publishing one who made obviously Sunset Overdrive and the critically acclaimed Crackdown 3. I can't imagine it's them.
Weren't they? Didn't just wait? What did you say about them?
Xbox Game Studios publishing.
Oh,
They work directly, but I can't imagine it would be them.
I would think if it's my guess, if it's Bungie, it's going to be self-published or published by the Lucasfilm games.
Well, yeah, it'll be published by them. I think they're branding all the Star Wars games, aren't they? So publishing them all, and then I think.
So you'd have to imagine with that thought, it would be probably multi-platform.
You say that, but obviously Disney own the Star Wars franchise basically, and they also own the Marvel franchise, and Spider-Man is PlayStation. So they're not afraid to do it. To go, but you're obviously as a gamer and as a predominantly PlayStation game. Yes, of course, I'd love it to come out on PlayStation. And I hate that some games only come out on some platforms. I wish everybody got every game because it'd be a hell of a lot cheaper. But I think with the other two being exclusives, I think it'd be a big thing if Xbox didn't keep this as an exclusive and opened it up, because it's something that they can bring people in with, because people will come back to the platform for Knights of the Old Republic.
People would. I could see that definitely working out in favor for them. Hopefully it covers up the terrible stink that was the gold price increase.
That's what I was thinking. Like they just rushed out this news just to cover up their mess up.
Yeah, they accidentally leaked this news. Like,
right.
But just before we wrap up, what's the bet? Is it a pizza? Is it a pizza bet?
I'm always down for some pizza.
A pizza bet?
Pizza.
I'll take a pizza bet.
Pizza bet. We'll do a pizza bet.
So just to wrap up those picks, I chose Bungie making Knights of the Old Republic. Adam, your pick was
Tango Gameworks.
Tango Gameworks. And Blake, what was your pick?
Ghost Story Games.
Ghost Story Games. Well, maybe in a couple of years we'll know for sure. Maybe a couple months. We'll see. But that is the news for the day. Thank you for joining us for Shifty Crab News Break. I've been Vince. That's been Adam.
Bye.
And Blake Miller.
Really quick, earlier, I said
Blake's not ready to finish. Blake's saying no. Blake's saying no.
Overwatch is made by Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
That's the one game by them that I actually enjoy, because earlier I said there's no games by them that I have any attachment to. I just want to correct myself. So in the future, when I say I love Overwatch, somebody like come out with a giant fucking pitchfork after me.
I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be that person. I'm just going to put another screen on, because bear in mind, I edit this just of this comment. Like you said, I hate all Blizzard games. Like I've got it on an audio now. So there we go.
Okay.
You got it. But that has been the Shifty Crab News Break. Stay shifty, everybody.
God, I hate that. See you later. Bye-bye.